Good morning everyone and welcome again to Maighstir Tarot. Another gloomy day today here, but we don't mind, we love the rain. I've just been out in the garden planting some vegetables. Supposed to have a lovely sunny weekend, so hopefully they'll grow beautifully. I was planning originally on doing a bit of a fluff piece today. You know, something light, looking into what, Ivanka and Jarrad are up to and what's happening in various US elections and, trials, etc. A bit of fluff and pump, but I was very strictly told, no, your readings are to be of a deeper nature. So we'll leave the day-to-day frivolity to other readers, and oh gosh, desperate for a haircut. And my Maighstir has very clearly told me, no, you read on bigger picture issues. So today he wants me to read on the position of the world with global warming. We've obviously had a couple of years of severe wildfires, both north and southern hemisphere. Hurricanes, cyclones, etc. are getting more severe. Flooding's worse, droughts worse. The ice caps are melting. The tundra in Siberia is melting. And there's a lot of concern in society. I have faith that humans have come to the realisation, albeit about 30 years too late, but I don't believe it is too late. I just mean, as in the scientists have been telling us for 30 or 40 years that this was coming and nobody was listening. Unfortunately, we've still got some governments in the world, our own in Australia, for example, that seem to be tethered to the fossil industry and cannot seem to see their way forward. I think that's more a case of lobbying, money, bribes, etc. coming through the system. So what I want to do today, and what Maighstir has asked me to read on, is basically an all-round reading on global warming. Is it too late? The transition from fossils to green. Can Australia become a green energy world leader? Is the future green hydrogen in the form of solids and gels, or is it something else? And what steps can we do to reverse the global warming, and will the planet recover? I think a lot of that is yes. My gut tells me it's yes. Don't ever underestimate the innovation and inventiveness of humanity when we need to do so. I was watching, just even on a simple basis in Australia, we have great inventive and innovation, watching Landline. If you can't get the series either online, or you don't watch it on the ABC, which is our taxpayer-owned channel, what they have been doing is a series of agricultural inventions in Australia, and they're usually such simple ideas that farmers come up with. They put through a process and end up selling globally because it just makes agricultural life simpler. Fencing, cattle awareness, water usage, etc. So Australia is a world leader when it comes to innovation and invention, and also in our medical research as well. The sad part is that we don't have a huge populace, so the government doesn't seem to have big money to spend. Where they spend it can be a bit dubious, and so that a lot of these ideas and research breakthroughs are sold overseas. For example, solar panels. The solar panels weren't invented in Australia, but the innovation, I believe it was about 15 years ago, to make them approximately 70% more effective. Well, not 70%, but out of the 100% effectiveness, it was the 70% was an Australian innovation. And couldn't get funding in Australia, so sold it to a Chinese manufacturer, conglomerate. So, but that's off on a tangent. That's a little soapbox I get on occasionally. So what I want to do today is just have a talk about global warming and see where we go from here. So the cards I'm using today are my Lightseers deck. It's a deck I'm very familiar with. I often use it for family and friends, and I consider Mother Earth family and friends, so I'll use that deck today. So first of all, I want to just ask, I've got a room full of puppy dogs today. I do apologise if they get noisy at any stage, but they insisted on coming in and sleeping on the floor around my feet. So my first question is can we halt global warming? Can humanity the image I got was the piles of plastics. That's another issue. That Mother Earth is very concerned about the plastic waste. But at the moment, okay. Welcome to my spirit guide and all who come with him. Protect us with your light and guide us with your wisdom. Thank you. Okay, can humanity halt what they are doing to the planet that is causing global warming? Just asking if we can halt it. Problem is a lot of the warming is already baked in, but can humanity halt? Oh gosh, there's so many questions that are popping into my head. I have to concentrate on this one. Can humanity change its reliance on fossil fuels? Everything's falling out, which is my indication. Can humanity bloody oath we can. Right. Can humanity halt its reliance on fossil fuels? Challenged by retreat, nurturing, self-nurturing. Just being aware and taking care. Underlying Nine of Pentacles. So this is abundance. This is wealth. Just trying to think how it's the luxury is not the word, but it's about having enough. Historically, Five of Swords, so that's feeling betrayed, deceit, self-sabotage it can also be as well. But I like to reflect on this image in the background here of seeing the light. Led astray. Crowning is, okay, it's going to be a slow and steady progress, but it is forward progress. Near future is insecurity, hoarding what we have, going to come up against the fossil industry, those that are employed in the fossil industry, feeling very insecure. heartbreak, out in the cold. So there's going to be an element of society that feel like they've been shunned, thrown out, abandoned, and having to defend themselves. We reap what we sow. There's going to the hopes and fears, reap what we sow, but also reflection, review. Seven of Swords. So this one is self-sabotage and betrayal. This one is deceit. Queen of Pentacles. So she's a nurturing strength in regards to physical abundance. And the Page of Swords. Now look at all those ideas. The Page of Swords. It's the youth. So the youth will be the path, the journey out of this, with their ideas and their innovation. They will have the nurturing guidance, and this is a very strong feminine figure. So it is the women of the world who will lead the way. What I'm getting here is it's the that's not all women and it's not all men, but here I'm getting a strong pull towards the patriarchy of this is how we've always done it, this is how we'll do it, rape and pillaging, taking more than we need. It's the women that will step up with their calm, nurturing nature in regards to money and material abundance, and it is the youth who will actually show the way, the educated youth with their ideas and their experience. There will be justice for the planet, so there's this balancing, the Star of Hope, seeing things from a new angle, and a new beginning, accountability and review and a new beginning. So I think the answer to that question is yes, we can. No, it's not too late. We will have to, there will be those who are feeling like they've been abandoned and left behind, that we have to make sure that we bring them along with us. And that I put those back the wrong way around there. And that we will, it will be the women and the youth that actually make the difference. No surprises there. I mean, I'm not talking about all women and I'm not talking about all men, but especially in the Western society, we seem to have a dominance of males in our decision-making political system who like the status quo and they don't want to change it. Australia, we have a Prime Minister who is pro-fossil, whereas we really need a leader who will support the transition to renewables. I'm just aware that the dogs are looking at the door. I suspect my partner is out of his office and one of them is looking to go for a walk. I might let them out in a minute. What many who are in the fossil industry, who are fearful of their jobs, don't realise is that even in recent history has shown us that there are more jobs in, pardon me, just pause a minute. Okay, the dogs have gone. The dogs have gone for a walk. But there are more jobs in the green industry than there currently are in the fossil industry. There is a misconception in Australia that the majority of our people work in the fossil industry, they don't. Automation has removed a lot of, up to 80% of the jobs that were. The jobs that are left, the majority of them are contracting jobs, so they're not secure. And so really there's this misconception that needs to be overturned and worked through, and we need the leadership to do that, and we don't have it at the moment, but I am positive we will. So next question I want to ask is, will the Australian government, okay, so just as a preemptive of this, in my area, not in my electorate, but in my area, there is a very pro-fossil Minister of Government, federal government. He's declared that he's not going to run at the next election. He's going to retire, but he was very pro-fossil. So what's happening is the fossil advocates are starting to retire. So I want to just ask, will the retiring fossil fuel advocates in government be replaced by green supporters, green energy supporters? Will the fossil advocates in government who are retiring be replaced by green supporters? Now that will come about by the people, the voters speaking up. We have a very strong democratic system in Australia. It is actually compulsory to vote when you're over 18. Means everybody gets a say if they so want it. We still do have what we call donkey votes, where people go in and they just mess up their ballot paper. But if you don't vote the way you want, then you have no right to complain with what you get. So will the people speak out with the retirement of the fossil advocates? Will they be replaced with green energy thinkers? Will they be replaced with green energy thinkers? What I might do is I might just do a 4-card draw of a base card and then past, present and future. Just a quick draw rather than a long one. Will they be replaced with green energy thinkers? Let's have a look. Hope so. Right. Again, we have the fossil advocates, insecurity, fear of losing their jobs, fear of what could be, feeling comfortable with what is. So this is about insecurity, feeling insecure. So that's the base of it. But the Four of Wands is the community coming together for positive, working together with skill, building a solid foundation, and the Queen of Cups. So what we've got is, this is a security, beautiful card. I mean, if you look at you've got the water and the sky and just a rejoicing, and you've got the strength in regards to the nurturing, the creativity, and just embracing everybody and bringing them along. So I'd say that's a yes, for example, and the one near me. So yes, as they retire off or get pushed out, the fossil advocates will be replaced by those with a forward-thinking green agenda. Now, green, it can be a bit of a misconstrued word. It's been used in the wrong context, but here I am talking about decisions being made for the sake of the future of humanity and the future of the planet. You know, at the end of the day, we need the earth to be healthy. She doesn't need us to be on it. So yes, that's a yes. Now, will Australia become a green energy world leader? We have abundant sunlight. We have abundant land. We don't have water. We don't have thermal, but we have sunlight. We have land. We have oceans. There is so much technology in regards to solar, wind, tidal energy production. There are moves already. I was reading this morning about Japan creating a green hydrogen hub up in Queensland and Brisbane. Green hydrogen is so the biggest downfall to green energy is storage, especially storage on a bulk mass scale for industry, for example steel making or aluminium making, or to store it for periods when the wind isn't blowing and the sun isn't shining. Now what green hydrogen is it's the creation of hydrogen from water, from H2O, so by removing the oxygen and splitting the hydrogen. And it is a very energy intensive process to do so. So what green hydrogen is using renewable energy, wind, solar, tidal, thermal, etc., to actually produce the hydrogen as the storage facility. Now hydrogen is a gas and very volatile. When it is used, it then combines with oxygen in the atmosphere and just turns back into water. So there is no exhaust as such for when you're burning fossil fuels. So hydrogen is a very green product. Its production, as long as it's using renewables, that's why it's called green hydrogen. There is no excess of it, and all it does is convert from water and back to water once it's used. The only issue with it, it's a very volatile gas, and it has to be kept extremely cold and under high pressure for shipping. So it's the transportation of this product that is difficult. Now what's happening is there's innovation in the world at the moment where they're actually combining it with a catalyst that is turning it into a gel, which makes it extremely safe to transport. And what happens is that they ship this gel, so for example from Australia to Japan. They use a process to extract the hydrogen out of the gel for use, and the gel, the catalyst itself, is retained. So that's then shipped back to Australia, pumped back up again with the hydrogen, and then shipped off. So it's in its own form. The catalyst is a renewable, not a renewable product, but a product that can be recycled over and over and over again without losing its efficiency. So there are processes that are streaming ahead in regards to this, but I do want to ask, the question is that if Australia doesn't get on board with this technology, and it's happening through private industry, but if the government doesn't get on board and support it with a foundation of some form, it doesn't need to actually invest in the industry. That's happening already, but does need to basically give its support to this industry. So I just want to ask, and I think it will happen through the previous reading I had about the retirement of the fossil advocates. So will Australia, I mean, if we're not digging up and shipping away our raw materials, we need to come up with new industries, and this is one that can be extremely valuable to Australia as long as we get on board. Can Australia become a green energy world leader? Can Australia, at the moment we're a fossil fuel iron ore world leader, but can Australia, will Australia become a green energy supplier, world leading supplier? Will Australia become, again I'll just do the 4-card draw, will Australia become a green energy world leading supplier? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, okay, these don't look particularly good cards. So what we've got here at the foundation of the reading is a harsh truth. Now the reality is that fossil fuels are a dying industry. So Australia needs to wake up to itself. I mean, the fossils may still be around, but renewable production is outstripping it even now. It is old industry, it's dying industry. So this is a harsh truth where we need to go and get on our bike and get with it. This can be manifesting, the magician, something into reality, manifesting into reality, but it can also be manipulation. So it's the past is manipulation, and I think that's manipulation of public opinion and the reality of the future. We're going to have to put our defences up and defend ourselves. Well, our government is going to defend its position, and it's going to be betrayal and greed. So they're not good cards. However, next card on the deck is the Ace of Cups. So this is a new beginning. So I think what's going to happen is in the near future is that the fossil industry, it lobbies, it donates, it has great power over our politicians. In the short term, no, when the government are not going to get on board. However, the world is changing and it's an end of a cycle. There's great anxiety about this change, which is understandable. I mean, for the last 100 years or so, Australians and the Australian government in their taxes have been reliant on the fossil industry. So there's going to be great anxiety as the world moves on. But we need to walk away from what is not serving us. There is a plan. Now I see this as private industry. There is a plan as they look to the future and they look overseas. So this is private industry. So this is telling me yes, it will happen quickly with many fingers in the pie from a lot of angles. And here we again have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is the strength in regards to abundance, nurturing. So again, to me that's a yes, Australia will. But there will be a period where it doesn't look like it. There has to be a real mind shift in the core basis of especially Australian political thinking. If anyone's been on social media and had these lovely arguments with people who are adamant that coal will be around for the next 100 years, they're very hard to get through to. They're not listening. They're too busy yelling, and that comes from fear. So really what needs to happen is understanding of where they're coming from and using your logic. Okay, is green hydrogen the product of the future? Okay. is there something else? I just got a no, it's not the product. Yes, but no, in that there will be new innovations coming through that will... Okay, I'll just have a listen, hang on. So green hydrogen will be the product for heavy industry. However, for all other domestic transport, including flying and trucking, there will be a new innovation come through. So green hydrogen will be for your steel making, your aluminium production, the really heavy and energy intensive industries that need massive amounts of on-demand electricity, to heat blast furnaces, to run the pot lines, etc. So the really heavy intensive industry, yes, green hydrogen, but the message I simply got was that for every other application there will be a new technology that comes through, which is quite exciting. So I'm not even going to draw on that one. Okay. And the bottom of the pack was the Chariot, so it's going to come extremely quickly, followed by the Page of Pentacles, so it'll be from the Youth, the Knight of Cups, an offering, another page, the Page of Wands, again the Youth with their ideas, their joy, their freshness, their different way of looking at things. So yes, I'm actually quite excited to be alive at this time. Okay, I'm just quickly going to ask, I'll still use the same cards, but I also will pull some oracles on this one as well. What steps do we need to take to reverse global warming? I'll do a full Celtic cross and then I'll pull some oracles to pass over it. What steps do we need to take to reverse global warming? What steps? What steps does humanity... I'm getting two words, well actually one word, education, and education leads to a reduction in population growth. So the two words I got was education and population. But what steps do we need to take to reverse global warming? What steps do we need to take to reverse global warming? Let's have a look. Okay, what we've got here is getting back to community, using a challenge by, but also accompanied, I think this is more accompanied by a lot of methods, a lot of input, community, but not relying on one source. So this is collaboration, this is coming together, this is engaging, this is using a lot of ideas and a lot of collaboration. The wheel is the turning of a cycle, base of the reading. In the past we have the Five of Pentacles, which is despair, abandonment, feeling out in the cold, rejected, but this is in the past. Now the Three of Swords looks fairly ominous. This is heartbreak, downfall, betrayal, anguish, And I think that's how a lot of us are feeling at the moment. We're concerned about it. However, the future King of Cups. So what we've got here is an extremely authoritative, powerful leader figure who is working with his emotions, his nurturing, his caring for the planet. I mean, if you look at the card, he's sitting in the ocean, just being at one with, you've got the fish and the starfish, the yacht in the background. He's just being at one with nature, and that's a leadership position. Another future is the sun, full illumination, glory, supported by strength. Hopes and fears. The Ten of Swords. Now in some decks this means complete and utter downfall, but I actually look at this card and say it's a release to freedom. Queen of Cups crowning the King of Cups. So again, you've got the two nurturing, emotive leaders. Now, so he's the authoritative figure. She's the protective and nurturing figure of security. But you would look at both of them; they're just being at one with nature. There will be disappointment, but we will find balance. So that's the question is what steps, but I think what it is we're already taking those steps. The steps is community and engaging and looking at options and taking a leadership role, but a leadership in a compassionate, emotive way. Base of the pack is again the looking to the future with a plan. Again, the Page of Wands with the youth. So I hope you got something out of that. The last question I wanted to ask was, will the planet recover? I think I might pull some oracle cards for that one. So again, I'll use my Cosmic Guidance Oracle deck and my Wildfire reading cards. So, will the planet recover? Will the planet recover? If we take these steps that humanity needs to take, will the planet recover? Again, I'm getting the big piles of plastic. Something really needs to be done in that respect. A quick image of the movie of WALL-E, where we've just turned our entire planet into a garbage tip. But that's not what I'm after. I'm wanting to know, will the planet, with humanity taking the steps that it's taking now, will the planet recover? Trust, flow, listen, create. And base of the pack, beautiful dolphin, joy. So, have faith in the universe. The planet has a great ability to heal. We just need to get out of its way. We need to silence our minds and pay attention to what she is asking of us, and then nurture our creative energy to do what she's asking from us. So this is you can see the two hands, giving and receiving. If we give to the earth, she will give back to us. We need to sit in the quiet of her and listen to what she's actually telling us. I'll just draw a couple of wildfire flower cards. Just a couple of cards. Will the planet recover? Will the planet recover? Commitment, love, and assertiveness. I think this pretty much speaks for itself. We need to actually commit to this path. We need to love our earth, and we need to be assertive in our determination to make it happen. So we can't just sit back. We need to listen to what she needs. But yes, yeah, she'll be right. But the same with everything is that we are given opportunities. It's up to us to actually take them, and we need to make it happen. What will happen, but when the door is open to us, we need to step through the door. If the window is open, we need to let the energy out or in through the window, whatever is required at that time. So yes, the planet will recover. No, it's not too late. Have faith in humanity, and it is the youth and the women that will drive this forward. Again, not discounting the men. The men will be involved as well, but it's a case of the youth and the women stepping up and taking a more assertive role. Okay, I hope that relieved a few minds for you. As I said, I was looking at doing a wafty airy-fairy reading today for a bit of lightness, but apparently that's not the way I'm supposed to go. So, love you all, take care, and I'll talk with you next time. See you later.